All right, so as I'm sure many of you already know by now, unfortunately, the previous brick rod full guide that we had up is no longer pretty much useful at this point because everything has been completely changed. Starting from the location of some of the bricks and going all the way as far as even the location of all of the codes. So in today's video, I'm going to give you guys the full breakdown. We're going to waste no time and get right into this, but there is a couple of ground rules that we need to cover right at the very start. The unfortunate reality is that in order to go ahead and do this, your account needs to be a total of 22 hours old. So anything under 22 hours, and unfortunately you will not be able to do this. You may not even be able to see any of the codes, but basically if you want to go ahead and figure out how much time played you have, just click on menu at the top, then down here at the bottom, click on stats, and under time played, if you have more than 22 hours or 22 hours, then you're good to go. The next most important detail is that you need to make sure that the season that is active is summer. If you notice on the bottom right hand side, currently it is spring in the game, so I technically won't be able to show you guys inside of the brick rod room, but that's perfectly fine. Trust me, these steps work. The final thing that I'm going to mention is that you need to make sure to watch this video from start to finish. Do not skip any steps, because if you skip steps and you make it to the end inside of the room and you proceed to buy the rod, you will be kicked out of the game if you skipped any of these steps. Now, starting off with the first brick, this is the one that's located inside of the Roslyn volcano. If you remember before, it was located all the way at the very top, but unfortunately they sort of made it where you can't climb slopes now. So technically speaking, you could climb all the way up to the top with the obby and then jump off the edge and land sort of somewhere up here. But I'm going to show you the shortcut that I like to use personally, which is right over here. You just kind of jump up here, then you face this spike right here, and you're going to need a glider for this, specifically the advanced one. But basically, just go ahead and jump and then turn on your glider, and you're going to land this little ledge right here. Then just keep climbing all the way across until you get to this point and jump to this side. Then you just keep going this way, and the brick is going to be right over here. That's going to be the first one. Just make sure that you go ahead and click on it, and once you get that animation, you're ready to move on to the next one. As I mentioned before, if you want to be a little bit safer, you can go up past the entire obby, which will then spit you out kind of right up here, and then just use a glider to fly all the way over here. Next brick is going to be located over here at Ancient Isles, more specifically inside of the room where the Phoenix rod is. Personally, the way that I like to go is through the very top of the hill, just because it's a little bit easier to explain. But yeah, just climb all the way to the very top of the hill. Once you're up here, you're going to notice this rock fixture kind of down here. You want to go towards the very tippy corner right there. So right there is the corner, and then right over that corner, you're going to see this little fence here. Land right in front of that fence, and then turn around, and here is the cave. Up on the wall, you will find the next brick. For the final location, we're over here inside of good old dark depths. Just go ahead and make your way over to where the merchant is standing. I like using this as a reference point because it's a little bit easier, but on the left side, there is this red crystal. Just sort of walk towards that, and then you're going to fall off on the edge right over here where the sand is. Turn your camera to the right, and the final brick is right over here. Now, at this point, you've gone ahead and collected all 3 bricks that you need. Now you're going to need the 3 separate codes, which have been completely moved to separate spots. For the first code, we're going to make our way over here to Desolate Deep, and we're basically here for 2 reasons. 1, to get the code, and 2, because you need to make sure that you talk to this guy right here and make this place your innkeeper. Or I guess if you want something that makes more sense, make this place your spawn. This is extremely important. It has to be done. So just go ahead and talk to them, say how much it is to stay here, pay the price, and make sure that this is your spawn point. If you want to double check and make sure, you can open up the stats menu again, and right above your time played, it'll say set spawn location. For me, it says Atlantis because I obviously don't need to do this again, but in your case, it should say Desolate. Now, from here, take the zip line over here. You're going to need a glider again because we're making our way inside of the brine pool. Not gonna lie, if you're playing on mobile, this might be a little bit tricky for you, but basically you want to follow all of these planks. Climb the plank up here, then jump around the corner, pull out your glider, land on this edge, and again, jump around the corner and land on this edge, then just climb straight up. It's a bit on the tricky side, but you'll definitely be able to get it. Once you've done that, just make your way through this tunnel right here, and eventually you'll be spit out into the brine pool. Once you arrive here, your first code is going to be on the right side over here of the bridge. If you zoom out your camera, you will see it right down there. Mine is 334. Let me go ahead and turn off my UI so you can see it. But right there, It is 334 in my case. Just make sure that you go ahead and write down this number. All right, for the next one, you need to make your way over to Mush Grove, and this one is a little bit challenging. I'm not gonna lie, it might take you a little bit, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that they did remove the climbing on slopes. But basically, jump on these mushrooms right here, then jump on the ledge, and we need to climb this tree right here. Again, it's gonna be a bit tricky because you sort of just slide down slopes now. So to my mobile players, this might be a little bit of a challenge, because I'm gonna be honest, even me on PC, I struggle with this a lot. But you basically just kind of want to wrap around over and over again. Eventually, you'll run into like these little invisible ledges that let you climb up right there. I just did it. And then once you're up here, you just stand right off here and zoom your camera out and look right underneath this branch. You'll notice right there, it says, that is basically my code word. Keep in mind that all of these code words are going to be different for every single one of you. So don't think that you can just copy mine from my video. Now, the good thing here is that the final one is going to be the exact same for every single player. I'll go ahead and write it up on the very top of the screen right here, but it's basically the brick rod is real, period, bestowed upon those with, and that's pretty much it. Now, here's the part that gets a little bit tricky, and you are going to need a couple of different things. For starters, you're going to need some type of a pufferfish. It doesn't matter which one it is. It could be shiny, it could be sparkling, it could be whatever mutation it has. It does not matter. It just needs to be a pufferfish. If you notice, right now we are at Roselet. I'm going to go ahead and call in one of my boats here, because from Roselet, specifically the dock right here, we're going to travel in this direction, and you're going to see this island pop up that's called Harvester's Spike. As soon as you arrive here, you'll know that you're at the right place because it'll pop up right up here. Climb up to the top and you're going to be right by this tree here. The NPC will not spawn here whatsoever unless it is summertime. So at this point, you'll go ahead and grab a sundial, turn it into nighttime. Then you also want to grab yourself a smoke screen totem, which you can purchase over at Mush Grove. Go ahead and wait until the nighttime actually kicks in, then pop the smoke screen totem. What you're looking for is a foggy night summer. That is exactly what you're looking for. At that point, the purple NPC will spawn right here, which I'll put a picture of what he looks like on the screen right now so you can know what you're looking for, even though it is very hard to miss, where you will then write out the following in your text chat. The brick rod is real, period, space, bestowed upon those with, then your code word, whatever it is, either bubble, big nose, there's like a bunch of different variations that it could be. Then you put another period right after that, another space, and you put in your secret number. In my case, you guys saw it was 334. I just go ahead and press enter on that right next to the NPC Minish, but don't hit enter just yet. If you did, it's no big deal. Don't panic. Just go ahead and type it again in the chat. I know that I sort of went a little out of order, but I just wanted to make sure that you were aware what you needed to type. Go ahead and pull out your pufferfish. Make sure that you are holding this into your hand. If we switch over here really quickly to the wiki, which I'll go ahead and have a link to this at the very top of the comment section in case you get lost at any point throughout this entire guide. But the incredible wiki team went ahead and broke down what the titles are for every single hour of the day. Keep in mind that this chart is going through UTC time zone, so you need to make sure that you Google search your time with UTC time so that way you know what title it is. For example, if you're doing this at 6 o'clock in the morning because you're some type of weird person that plays Fish at 6 a.m., then the title is going to be The Holy, which you obtain this by buying the fairy lantern from the Lantern Keeper. It is a 1 in 50 chance. Let's assume that you're doing this at 1 p.m. It is the Sea Sovereign title. You obtain this by reaching level 90. So there is a bunch of different ones. Keep in mind, summertime does last, I think, for like about 14 hours or something like that. So if you don't have some of these titles, don't panic. Just wait an hour or so until it changes. It changes every single hour. So let's assume that you're trying to do this at 5 p.m. and it's Eternal Voyager. You're nowhere near level 100 and you're like, oh, dude, I'm panicking. Don't worry about it. Just wait till 6 p.m. and then you can use the Foolish, which is very, very simple to obtain, as you can see. So now that you have the correct title equipped, you have the puffer fish in your hand and you have the message in the chat. On top of that, it's also summertime with Foggy. You see the NPC right here. Now you can go ahead and type in the brick rod is real, period, bestowed upon those with your secret code, period, and your secret number. If everything is done correctly, you will be teleported inside of the brick rod room, where you will then need to purchase it for 13,000 cash. If you reach the actual brick rod and you try to grab it and you're kicked out of the game, it means that you skipped the step and you did not do what I said at the very start of the video, which is watch the entire video in its full length. Now, I hope that this went ahead and helped you guys out. Currently, as I'm recording this, there is 7 hours and 40 minutes left until summer begins. So this video will 100% be out and ready for you guys the moment that summer goes live. There might still be a couple of hours left, but it's okay. You guys can keep up with it if you want to by going to the Fishipedia, which, as I mentioned before, I will have a link at the very top of the comments. This is sort of how the quest was intended from the very beginning, but unfortunately, it was a little bugged when we all completed it the first time. So if you got it done the first time, congratulations. I would say that you saved yourself a headache, but let's be realistic. It was absolutely treacherous and a miserable experience. Either way, man, if this went ahead and helped you out, make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions whatsoever, let me know in the comment section. Either myself or any of my absolutely incredible 999 IQ subscribers will go ahead and help you. We've got brain surgeons in here. We got smart people here, man. These are all like top tier in the world. So you will absolutely get your answer. With that being said, man, I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel for daily fish content. I will see you guys tomorrow with another fish video. Take care.